Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again for another episode of Driven by Design. The one show, maybe the only show that shows you the future of car design and takes a look at everything that drives us today with the man who's always driven to learn more, Brian Thompson. Hey, Brian.
Howdy. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Today, a special day, we are deviating from cars to scooters and skateboards today for a special visit from Ken Cadmus. He has started a company called FIIK that is an electric scooter, and I want him to tell us about why he started it, what it is. So without further ado, let me introduce Ken and take it away.
Hey, nice to meet you guys. I'm Ken Cadmus. I'm the president and CEO of FIIK. We're a electric micromobility company based out of South Florida. Mm-hmm. We are similar model to the normal micromobility type of companies, but we kind of have a little bit of a unique twist on it, where we actually partner with local operators around the U.S., South America, Mexico, and the Caribbean, where we can offer micromobility solutions while partnering with small businesses. Biggest primary benefit to our type of model is that we can offer a majority of the revenue to stay local within that municipality. And we're also very municipality friendly in the sense, in the way that we deploy our units. We actually are not a public right-of-way type of company. We're more of a leisure ride versus a transportation solution. One of the biggest detractors from this type of method of transportation is the backlash that it causes within municipalities. So we kind of do things a little bit differently, and it actually works out really well. And we've got a very growing customer base, and we're on a great trajectory. So thank you for introducing me.
Yeah, no, talk to me a little bit more about that, because I think, just to put the visual in people's minds, these are the little scooters that ride around, but you also offer skateboards, as I understand.
Yep, we have a whole array of electric vehicle transportation. All of our products are electrified. We have electric drift trikes, which is essentially a 30-mile-an-hour adult big wheel. If you remember big wheels as a kid.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really our flagship product. It's a fantastic product.
And it's also some more stability, right? So, you're not just kind of, because one of the awkward things with the scooters is you do kind of stand a little strange, right? So
yeah. So we have kind of two segments to our company. One is the more retail side of it, where we offer skateboards and drift trikes, and we have a couple of other different electric vehicles. Then we have a rideshare company, which is FIIK, which offers more of the partnership micromobility solutions with those small businesses. So,
and tell me, so what was the impetus to start the company? Because one of the things we love to feature on this podcast is why people do things. What were you looking to do that wasn't already out there?
Yeah, so in 2017, the industry standard, which is Bird, which I'm sure everyone's heard of, a Bird scooter, came out mid to end of 2017, and they really commanded a huge presence in this ever-growing market now. But they're really the industry leaders in the area. People love them. But the biggest, like I said earlier, the biggest detractor is the municipality friction that can be caused by dumping 1,000 units within a city. Mm-hmm. The rider loves them, but the cities don't know how to handle them and don't know how to corral them properly. So about 18 months ago, maybe 24 months ago, roughly, we were actually one of the manufacturers for Bird back in 2017 when they initially launched. But we looked at it as it evolved and how the pros and the cons of the industry were ever evolving. And we kind of looked at it from the different perspective of how can we make this better, and which has brought us to our end result business model, which is partnerships with local businesses, private property rentals, no public right of way. Mm-hmm. And it's really evolved into something that we're very, very proud of.
So to really clarify for people, so what makes it different is that this is something that's more in the community, a partnership with, but is it more used like on a resort or on a
Yep.
property that has confines?
Yep, exactly. So we have multiple operators. By the end of Q2 in 2020, we'll probably be expanded into about 25 to 30 different unique markets. Primarily, most of those markets are tourist districts. people that are coming from out of town, they want to be able to explore the downtown area in a fun, especially with COVID and everything that's occurring. Gives them the ability to maintain their social distancing, not be crowded in an Uber. But yes, you are correct. It's more about partnership with local businesses around the country, and maintaining that positive interaction with the local city.
You know, and a three-wheeler is an interesting proposition, right? Because you don't have to meet all the regulations of a car. Also, if you're not on the road, you're safe from that. But I would imagine that gives you a lot more freedom for projecting into the future what comes next for your company. You know, I mean, maybe there's someday where you guys will offer an autonomous ride as well. You know, not to reveal your plans, but I could see that lending itself very quickly to your business model.
Yeah, it's definitely, there are a number of companies that have started to dip their toe in the sand with autonomy in this micro-mobility space. It's definitely in its infancy, but I think in the very near future that is definitely something that could be a big game changer. And that's probably within the next year or two.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I think it's, you know, it's all changing so fast, certainly in the work that I do in automotive. So it's interesting what you said, that you manufactured many of the scooters used by Bird, et cetera, beforehand. That must have been a learning phase for you. And so you guys are doing the design and manufacturing of your scooters and rideable vehicles in-house? Is that correct?
Yep. So we have a number of our partners live overseas. They run our manufacturing facility, and they're the ones kind of in head of design and the actual end manufacturing. But if you look on our website, which is FIIK.com, you'll see all of our various products, all very unique in their right. But every one of those were designed, manufactured in-house by our team.
Oh, excellent. That's very cool. I love that, because then, you know, you basically you spent your time in the field researching with the previous interactions, and now you have the expertise to do it yourself. What's been
it always puts you one step ahead of the competition. You know, if you're able to, especially when you're dealing with manufacturing overseas, which really, in essence, everyone is. I mean, we've looked at numerous different ways to be able to manufacture stateside. It's just not at the point where it's viable. But having that manufacturing end definitely keeps you 6 months ahead of any of your competition.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I'll give you two questions. One you can think about as you're answering the first. The first is, will be, what's the biggest challenge of doing something like this and bringing it to market? And then second will be, what are you most excited about looking forward?
Sure. That's a great question. I think in the last year, no matter what industry you're in, with having to deal with this COVID situation, you've learned to adapt to different problems very quickly on a pivot. I think probably the biggest issue that we run into, it's not necessarily still municipalities, but it's being able to change the public's perception of what the space should be and how to make it more viable for the future. As you see cities starting to become more and more strict on this type of space, and I'm talking in regards to the micro-mobility space, there has to be a viable solution to maintain everyone's positive outlook on it. So we're definitely trying to change people's perceptions, not only the end user, but also the cities. We've had numerous Zoom meetings, in-person meetings, emails with a lot of major people that city managers rather, where we're actually kind of helping, guiding them, showing them how they can bring this to their city, but also make sure that it's safe and friendly for the constituents of the city.
You know, and I think that is an interesting challenge, right? Because it's like when the first technology first came around, it's like everybody we just jumped on it, right? But it made such a bad impression in people's minds right away because they saw these scooters littered everywhere, which was no fault of the technology. It was just not planned out, right? And so
you're exactly right.
And it's like, it is an interesting challenge. You're progressing forward with the technology, but got to clean up its little messy image that it had. And good on you guys for sort of taking that to the next step of where it should be, because it is a great tool to have. You know, for mobility.
It's a lot of fun. That's obviously paramount. Safety is obviously also one of the most important things for us. yeah, it's changing the perception of minds when it's been so heavily ingrained that in a very short period of time. We're only talking about maybe three and a half years that they've been introduced to the public. They've done a fantastic job of making it well known to the public, but at the same time also letting all the detractors be known. So we're trying to help fix that and change it and make it better so it can be a solution in the future and help reduce traffic and emissions and all the other pros that come along with it.
Yeah, I mean that is that's a big task, but judging by your website and your seeing them, you're succeeding. And that leads me to what's next for you guys? What are you most excited about? I mean, this has got to be a cool job for you.
It is. I mean, it's got plenty of challenges. Don't get me wrong, right? The space in it of itself is definitely a very difficult space. I mean, we have a various array of new products that we're bringing to market. And not only our rideshare part, but also on our retail side. It's just really just staying relevant in the industry. It's very easy. You can see a lot of these mission statement, and they become, and they think they're untouchable, and it's about making sure that you stay relevant and staying ahead of the competition. So I think a lot of it has to do with new products that are coming out.
What are you, which leads me to, what do you like best? What's your favorite one of the products that you offer, and why? Like what does it for you?
Sure. By far, it's our rideshare portion. I know that in the long run, the benefit to mankind is definitely going to be big in that space. As you see, even because obviously you guys deal with a lot of EV stuff. I'm a huge Tesla fan. I'm a huge autonomous driver fan. I wish that full self-driving would have came out 3 years ago when they promised it came out, right? So, but I think that this is going to be a huge portion of the last mile transportation solution in a lot of these larger and middle ground cities as well, and just being able to make it offered to residents within that city while also staying relevant with the municipality.
Yeah, and I would assume that this idea of an open air rideshare, especially being in South Florida, the warmer climates, it's like that's a great. You couldn't ask for a better case study than a big pandemic before.
Yeah.
Your
We're actually in the midst of working with one of the first sanitizing pods that's able to be affixed to one of these rideshare units, and the company that we're working with actually has a patent pending on this sanitization pod that can ensure proper sanitization techniques for every single rider, which is a big deal for a lot of these municipalities.
Yeah. So it cleans itself, or it's just something there that is easily to get clean?
The rider does it themselves, but the actual liquid that's encased in these pods is good for, I believe it's about an 8-hour guarantee of sanitization. So you don't have to apply the sanitizer as often. There's a whole slew of different things that they've done. But it's affixed to the unit and connected via Bluetooth, and it's really a really interesting concept. We just started getting to talks with them in the last few months, but definitely something we're looking to bring to market probably by Q2 or Q3 of 2021.
And I love the social responsibility of that side. I think that's the kind of the time we're entering in here now, with this sort of awareness of that. It ain't just one person; everybody affects everybody. I want to give you time to plug where people can find you.
Sure.
Just where can we find you online, on Instagram, on the socials, if we want to partake?
We've got two different websites, one for our retail side, which is FIIK.com. That's FIIK.com. Our rideshare portion of it. What's that?
Just so people don't, because sometimes in my ear I'll hear thick, but it's an F like Frank.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
F like Frank, IIK.com. And on our rideshare portion of it, obviously we're constantly looking for new operators and new partners all around the U.S. Anyone that's interested in becoming a partner, it's a very interesting concept, very interesting program, requires very little to almost no money up front. And the potential for revenue for them is tremendous, which is ridefiik.com. So ride, FIIK.com.
Excellent. Well, I'll be sure to follow. I'm looking forward to. I'll be in Florida later this month, so maybe I can stop by and try one. Love to meet you.
You come by. I'll shoot you my cell phone number. You can give me a text.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, go.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough, Ken. Thank you so much for being on, and I really hope this gets the word out more about FIIK. Try them.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You've been listening to another great example of why you should ride along each and every week, right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. .biz.